Good evening, everyone. Today is April 16th, 2025. It's 7:01. We tried. And this is tonight's version of the Merrimack Parks and Recreations Committee. My name is Tracy McGraw, and I'm the chairman. Rick?
Thank you. My name is Rick Greenier, and I'm the representative from the Merrimack Youth Association.
Hi, I'm Brian Landrigan, board member.
Maureen Hall, Senior Representative.
Matthew?
Heather Fairbanks, board member.
Lori Rothaus representing the school board.
Phil Perzewski, board member.
Matthew Brown, student representative.
Michelle Creswell, secretary and member.
Matt Kasparis, director of Parks and Recreation.
Becca McGee, camp and after school program coordinator.
And before we go any further, everyone here wants to welcome Becca. She is taking care of the after school, the kids that come from the schools that go down to Wasserman Park for the after school program, and she'll be working with the park or with the campers over the summer. So Becca, welcome.
Welcome.
All right, we're gonna go a little bit out of order tonight because we have a presentation tonight from Ryan Maroney from Troop 424 for his Eagle Scout project. The floor is yours, Ryan.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Marone. I am a Life Scout from Boy Scout Troop 424, and I'm here tonight to present my Eagle project. Oh, you're not. Oh.
Is the button?
Well, we're gonna put this on hold for just a minute. Grace is gonna fix us up.
Ryan, how long have you been a scout?
I've been a scout since first grade. I've gone through Cub Scouts, and obviously I'm going here to get my Eagle. So it's been about around 10 years. Yeah.
Are you guys seeing it on your computers? Yes. Oh, we see it on the computer, yeah. That's okay. Just want to make sure before we go any further, Ryan, can you check and make sure that your blue light is on?
Yeah, it's on.
Justin let me know that this might happen with our projector, so if we can roll with it, I apologize.
Okay.
They can see what you see.
Okay.
What you're showing us.
All right. So my project is to build 3 free little libraries in Watson Park, Veterans Park, and Abbey Griffin Park. I believe that this project is very beneficial to the community as it promotes literacy, and I've always been passionate about reading, so I think that constructing these libraries would be a great way to help others in the community find their love of reading as well. So here I have some of the pictures that I've taken where I would like to put these libraries in each park. I'll be open to any suggestions if anyone would like to, but right here is what I have for Watson Park. I'd like to place the library next to the sign at the entrance to the park. Here I have 2 options for Veterans Park. I would like to place one either across from one of the baseball fields next to the bathrooms, or next to one of the telephone poles near the entrance. And lastly is Abbey Griffin Park. I would like to put the library near the walkway that comes down from the town hall and leads into the park. So right here are my library diagrams. This is what I'll be using to build these libraries. Right here I have the front door and top view, and then here is the back and bottom view. So for tools, I will be using safety goggles, work gloves, drills, screw guns, electric sanders, table saws, paintbrushes, water jugs, shovels, and a cement mixer. All power tools will be used by scouts that are over the age of 14, according to the BSA guidelines for safe tool usage. Tools will be borrowed from troop members and family members. right here is my cost estimate and my materials list. So far, this project should cost $436, including a contingency budget and food and water for volunteers. For installation and maintenance, each library post will be placed into a 2-foot hole and supported by concrete using a forming tube that the post will be placed inside of. The concrete will be high strength in order to ensure stability, and all the concrete will be allowed to set for 24 hours before being covered. And all 3 libraries will be maintained by myself and the United Way nonprofit organization. Safety and logistics. All transportation of materials will be done using my family's vehicles, and all volunteers helping with construction will be required to wear long pants and work boots to minimize injury. Gloves and safety glasses, as stated previously, will be provided to all volunteers when working on construction. Fundraising and work days. Fundraising will be done through bake sales and donations. 3 bake sales in total will be held, which each require 4 scouts and will be 4 hours long. All baked goods will be provided by my fellow troop members and anyone who volunteers to do so. There will also be 3 work days, which also require 4 scouts and will also require 2 adults for supervision. Work days will also be 4 hours each, and the final work day will include installation of the libraries at each park. Finally is my project timeline. First is the approval stage, which starts with the troop committee and then goes to the beneficiary, which is Parks and Rec. And then once you guys approve me, I will then go to the town council. Finally, I will end up going in front of the Eagle Board, who gives me final permission to start and go ahead with my project. This should be done in late April to early May. Fundraising includes the total cost of the project materials, which is the next stage, and this also includes supplies for food and water. Fundraising should be complete in late May to early June. The final stage is construction. This will begin to take place at the beginning of June, and if everything goes according to schedule, it should end in mid-June. Thank you so much for taking the time to consider my project, and I will be open to any suggestions and questions.
This looks like a wonderful project. I love the idea of having all these libraries around Merrimack for the little kids and so forth. Do you have any idea what type of books or materials you'll be putting in them?
Mostly it will be children's books, and I have a large collection that I used to read as a little kid, and my brother, who doesn't need any use for them anymore, so we will donate most of those, but other donations will come from troop members.
This sounds wonderful. Does anyone have any questions? Matt?
Can you go back to the slide for Abby Griffin location?
Yes.
I don't have to put the screen back here.
Oh,
Here.
there you go.
Okay, so it's the path coming down. Okay, good. That shouldn't be a problem then. I was just, when you said it first, I was picturing the courthouse, the road that came down behind the courthouse, and all the water and power lines come through the park over there, so that would have been an issue, but over here shouldn't be an issue, so, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good start.
Thank you.
The timeline sounds great. One of the things that obviously we can help out with is if you can give your information as far as your bake sales. When you're actually doing the project, you let Matt know about that, and we can get it posted on both our Parks and Rec's website as well as our Facebook pages and help you advertise for it. Baked goods tend to sell out pretty quickly in Merrimack, so it should be pretty good.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any questions for, oh, I'm sorry, Maureen?
Do you have your safety goggles already?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I would have donated a whole bunch of them.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Well, I think there's 2 members here who probably would take you up on that maybe next time. All right. Ryan, do you have any questions for us?
No, not any that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. So, Matt, just to confirm, we need to have a vote to make sure that it goes to council.
Correct.
All right. Do we have a motion to accept Ryan Marone's proposal for his Eagle Scout project.
Second. Second.
Who was first?
So moved.
I'll make the initial motion if no one else did.
Jump the line there.
Okay. Ready to go? All right. All in favor?
So give me 1 second to add.
9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you.
All right. So your next steps are going to town council. It's been approved. As far as Parks and Recs is concerned, do you have any idea when you're meeting with town council?
I'll jump in here.
Okay.
So I will connect with you tomorrow. I gotta double check their agenda. They have a meeting next week, but I don't know if they have availability
Okay.
on the agenda for next week, but if not, we'll get it for the following one, if not, but I'll let you know tomorrow. And then the other thing we can do too is we can get, Public Works can actually dig the holes for you too, if need be, so we can help you with that too, so.
Alright. Thank you.
But I will connect with you tomorrow on that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
All right.
What about your troop masters? Do you guys have any questions for us? No? All right. This is a wonderful project, Ryan. Very, very appreciative of what you're going to do, and can't wait to see the finished product.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Next.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
That's fine. I'm gonna move up front since I have some talking to do with.
You stay.
You can move if you really would like to.
No, she's fine. She's fine.
You guys are all, you
She's
don't
fine.
have to hang out. Unless you really want to, but.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Good job, Brian.
All right, so let's go back to, all right, we need to approve the minutes. Looks like we have 2 sets of minutes to approve. Matt, do we have the February ones?
I did not bring them back this time.
Okay.
I forgot them. I had brought them last time and, yeah, didn't bring the other copies, but we have two sets to approve because we didn't have quorum last month.
Right. So, for the minutes from February 19th, whoever was here, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes that we had last month? I think so. Yeah, I did the February one. Okay, so who was here for the February one? We just don't have the information right in front of us. Okay, so you've got the information down.
3, 4, 5, but yeah, we just need, who's gonna, we need a motion to accept.
Yeah. You ready? You were here? Okay. All right, then do we have a motion to accept the February 19th, 2025 minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. February 19th.
Were you here?
Oh, yeah, I was.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Good, okay. Yep.
So 4, right?
Okay, so all in favor of accepting the February 19th, 2025 minutes
That were there.
that were there? Yes.
2,
So,
3,
5.
4, 5, 6.
Yep.
And then for those that want, 601. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. All right, now we do have the March 19th minutes. Has everyone had a chance who was here? Does everyone have a chance to look at those? And again, I'm going to ask who was here for March, just to make sure we have it.
It wasn't a quorum, but
We did not have
It was-
quorum,
Yes,
correct?
I'm glad you're here. All right, so do we have a motion to accept the March minutes?
I'll move to accept.
Okay.
looks like I'm gonna second them. Second to accept.
Okay, for those of us who were here for March, all in favor of accepting the March minutes? 4.
1, 2, 4.
That's it. It was a small meeting. Okay, got it. All
Can
right.
you let her know I was here for February, just wasn't here for March.
Okay, got it. All right, perfect. All right, so the next thing we're going to go to is old business, an update from the Merrimack Dog Park. I'm going to let you start with this one, Matt, in case you have any additional information, because mine's going to be the same old stuff.
I don't actually have much of anything. I've heard of about a couple of dog incidents at the park that I was gonna talk to you about after the meeting.
Okay.
But we've told that when we get called, obviously, we refer them to animal control to let them deal with it in case it's something with a problem dog or whatnot, but
We do have a new ACO. It's
We do.
Officer Abraham.
correct.
Thank you. Welcome. So hopefully he'll stop by the dog park every once in a while and maybe we
Yeah.
can catch up.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll
But
talk
no,
afterward.
otherwise, I don't have anything new.
Okay. Heather, do you have anything with the dog park?
I think the dog park is basically that everybody should be clean up after their pets. Fill in holes if they see them, if their dog does dig holes. And I think that people need to respect each other if their dogs don't get along.
Agreed. One of the things that we've used in the past when their dogs seem to get a little bit feisty is we'll separate the dogs. If it's possible, we'll try to put one of the dogs in the small dog side and give them a chance to cool off. Because just like people, dogs need a timeout. And so if you can do that, if it's more than 2 dogs, it might be that someone's going to have to leave or go walk outside the park on a leash for whatever time it takes to calm down. And if that doesn't work, then maybe going home is the best way to go. As the months get warmer, people come out more. There's more dogs in the dog park, and there tends to be a little more disagreements between the dogs when it's hot. So let's just be very mindful, and as Heather said, be respectful of each other and know your dog's limitations. And please, by all means, if you find someone else's, pick up 2, even if your dog dropped 1. We need some help cleaning up the park. All right. We are at Matt. Yes, did you have?
Just one thing that just popped into my head. We should have the water on hopefully in the next week or so. We started
okay.
kind of testing for leaks around the park, and as soon as we make sure we find them all, then hopefully we'll be able to get the water on fairly in the next beginning of May is the goal. But as long as it stays warm, then hopefully sooner than later.
With that note, bring your water buckets or your water jugs to fill, but please do not leave empty water jugs inside the dog park, and please do not leave them inside the outer enclosure. Take them home, recycle them, bring them back full, fill them up before you, whatever it is you want to do, but the empty ones end up flying around, and some dogs use them as dog toys, and then we have plastic all over the inside of the dog park. So, okay, let's move on. Oh, I'm sorry. Heather.
I just wanted to add that I do plan on having a cleanup day in May.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to gather people's ideas of when would be a good time.
Let us know when it is, and we'll get it posted.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get a large group of people to come in.
Yep.
All right. Sorry I missed your hand.
That's okay.
All right, Matt.
All
you're
right.
up.
Let's start and talk about the budget. As you probably saw last week, the voters rejected the town budget for the 2nd year in a row. So we're in default budget, and what that basically means is the town has to cut $2 million out of the budget. Department heads have been meeting with the town manager this week, and basically department by department, it was kind of what are we cutting? Town manager's actually meeting with the council right now on the other side in non-public to talk about what those carts are, and then I'll find out officially on Friday if they agreed with what he's recommending or not. But here's what we think is gonna happen for Parks and Rec at the moment. Now, in a way, we're largely protected because all of our programs are on the revolving fund side, so they're not supported by taxpayer funds. But we do have things like special events, 4th of July, all the Halloween, Easter, Winter Carnival, all those kinds of things. Most of the things beyond on the taxpayer side are things that we don't have control over, like water, electricity, whatever. But here's what we got at the moment. It is what's being tentatively proposed. One is eliminating the weekend park attendance at Wasserman Park, which I hope is not, we don't have a repeat of what happened in 2020 and suddenly in late July trying to hire people after not filling, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if this goes through, obviously there'll be nobody here on the weekends. Currently, we have one lifeguard that's currently paid by taxpayers. That position will get paid for out of camp. instead. We have a staff member during the school year that covers the function hall rentals, which is currently funded on the taxpayer side, so that I'm not coming in on Saturdays or Sundays or whatever for these rentals. That funding is going away, and if we have to do it, that'll cover out of programs and rental fees. The summer maintenance position will also be covered by the camp. All told, it's about $10,000 that the camp's gonna have to pick up that we weren't expecting to. And we'll talk about camp revenues in a second. So in the grand scheme of things, at this point, they're not touching 4th of July, Halloween, holiday parade, Winter Carnival, Easter, any of those, or the summer concerts, so we're good. It certainly could have gotten a lot worse, that discussion. Yes, this was yesterday. And so as long as the town council doesn't change their mind or change the recommendation from what town manager's giving them, then hopefully we'll be in decent shape. They also could have said, oh, you need to cover all of your salary out of programs, and that would have been impossible and whatever. So James, Becca, and I are all protected at this point, so we're good there. We're feeling pretty good about that. Like I said, we'll find out officially on Friday during our staff meeting, but then next week on Thursday, the 24th, the next town council meeting, they will make that final recommendation, and in that meeting, the council will make their final decisions on how they're gonna resolve the budget for across the town. Like I said, in the grand scheme of things, we're not in bad shape for Parks and Rec's perspective, but it's gonna hurt across the town, I think, from what I've heard so far, so, from other departments, so. So it is what it is. Moving on to summer camp, our Camp Nanticoke is now 91% full. Our teen camp Trek is 99% full. I literally have one spot in a single week left, which is a nice problem to have at this point. And then our theater camp is 75% full at this point. We've already surpassed last year's ending total of registrations by about 25, and we'll probably pick up another 30 or 40 registrations by the time summer starts in June. So in good shape financially, which also will help us kind of absorb some of these other cuts that we talked about a second ago. So it is what it is. As far as hiring going, one of the things that we have been able to do this year is we're going to be able to offer swimming lessons at camp for the first time since before COVID.
Nice.
We finally got, places started offering the water safety instructor certification, which hasn't been offered in the last 5 years. And we got 2 staff signed up already that'll be teaching swimming lessons at camp. Hopefully this will all go well, and then hopefully by next year we'll get to the point where we can kind of do public lessons as well. So feeling pretty good about that. We are still looking to fill a handful of positions at this point. I need 4 senior camp counselors, so 18 and older. I need 1 more lifeguard for my teen camp. I need park maintenance, and then I need nature, somebody that can teach nature exploration, nature activities. For all of these positions, they all do have to be 18 or older, and then the applications are on the website and they're kind of open until filled. But if people have questions, they can certainly call me with those. I'm going to move now to just brief update. We mentioned, I think it was the last meeting. Last meeting we talked about the project that the Rotary Club was going to start for us, and I know the big projector isn't working, but I think you guys can see. You can see this on your screen here. So they started on Saturday while we were doing the Easter egg hunt. Rotary was down in this cabin and
Nice
at the end of the
puppies.
beach, building the changing stalls into the cabin. So this is what they had managed to get done in about 3 hours on Saturday morning.
Wow.
And so they've gotten all the stalls built. They were working on putting on obviously doors on each one. Then they'll put on additional lighting inside, and then they're gonna paint and kind of clean up the interior of the building and stuff. So just nice, great project. They're moving super fast. They'll probably be done in a couple of weeks. Probably only take them 2 or 3 Saturdays to get everything done. But very nice. And, you know, as I said last month, one of the challenges we always have with that particular cabin's used by our kindergarten and first grade campers. And so when you've got, 18 of them, trying to get them changed for swimming with 2 bathrooms, it tends to take a little while. Now we'll go to 12 spaces where they can get changed instead of 2. And that's gonna kind of greatly speed up both the before and the after for us. So that'll be really nice to have, for that. So that was good. Easter egg hunt, as I said, was last weekend. It was, despite the unexpected snowstorm on Friday night, we still had about 300 people showed up. So not bad. More than the 200 that showed up last year in the pouring rain. So that's a win. Gave out about 4,000 eggs. And, people seem to enjoy it. We had moved everything down to the bottom of the hill so that all our kind of community groups could be indoors and give a place for people to go indoors, because it was, as of Friday night, it was still talking about rain, not snow. So we wanted somewhere that they could go. And people really seemed to like that. Nobody complained about having to walk down the hill from the parking lot at the top, and so that was good. And we actually might make it a permanent thing, because it did work out pretty well. There's a few tweaks we can make that'll make it smoother, but for a last minute impromptu change, I thought it came out pretty good. And the reason just for why we moved to the theater and not the function hall is the theater's got a nice concrete floor. The function hall has carpet. If I had 300 people with their muddy, snowy boots, it would just destroy the carpets. And I can't spend, $1,000 to clean the carpets on Saturday for, whatever. So, so again, overall worked out pretty well. And so moving on to after school, we are getting ready to open up registration for next year's after school program. And for the last 2 years, we've only been serving Thornton's Ferry and Mastrocola. But our ultimate goal has always been to expand over to Reed's Ferry, because like the other schools, we've heard that there is that need for childcare. And one of the challenges has always been is with one single bus, I can't get to all 3 schools by the time we have to pick up all kids by 3:10, because that's when the teachers at the schools go off duty, and I just can't get to all 3 in that from like 2:45 to 3:10. It just doesn't work. So, and so the other challenge we're realizing this year is we have several fourth graders in our program now that are moving up to the upper elementary next year, and it's like, so they started asking, it's like, oh, will you have a program for us? And I was like, first it was like, oh yes, of course, and then it was like, wait a minute, upper elementary school gets out 10 minutes later than the elementary. I can't hold the bus here because I have the same issue with the picking up at the other school. So in order to get to, so we're looking at a second bus. And in order to get to a second bus, we need 8 kids a day to sign up for the program, from Reed's Ferry or, from the upper elementary school. And so what we're in right now with the staffing we have the capacity to take the kids. It's really the bus transportation's the sticking point. So on Monday, we sent out a survey to all of our camp parents from Reed's Ferry, and then also sent out a general email blast yesterday with advertising other things, saying that we're looking at expanding to both Reed's Ferry and to the upper elementary school for next year. The idea being that we would pick up at Reed's first, and then as they come by, it's 10 minutes later, and now they can pick up the upper elementary school and still, meet that time frame that we had. As of yesterday, we already had 12 or 14 that said they're interested. So that's good. Now, whether all of them will turn around and commit, who knows? We hope they will. But basically, we're running this survey up until April 30th, so another 2 weeks. And then, we'll look at the survey, how many numbers there are, and just make sure it looks like we can, because we don't want to commit to the bus is $200 a day, which is $36,000 a year. So we don't want to commit ourselves to a bus and then have 2 kids sign up, But right now, it's looking promising that we'll be able to do that. And so we'll see there. But if anybody's interested in completing the survey or has questions about after school, they can come to our website, merrimackparksandrec.org. And the survey is on the website, as well as kind of general after school information, or they can call Becca in the office and she can answer those questions about the program. So potentially exciting times, potential for, we grew from year 1 to year 2, we probably grew 15%. And so if I can do another 15 or 20% in year 3, that'd be really nice for us. And, then we'd be like 30, 35 kids a day, and that'd be a really good spot to be in. So, financially. So, So then I met a few weeks ago, I met with Phil from the Lions Club, who's also on this committee, about an idea that we've been kind of kicking around for a few months. And part of this was last year we didn't do any movies in the park. And, we had people asking, and we had stopped because the year before they were kind of dying out, but we were doing 3 at the time. And so I was like, well, maybe we'll do 1, but I want to do something more than just a movie. I want to make it an event and draw people in. And so one of the things we discovered this fall is Lions Club International central themes centers around kind of health and wellness, but in particular to diabetes awareness. And so one of their programs is called Strides for Diabetes Awareness. And it's a walk-run type program. And so what we're looking to do, we're tentatively looking in September, but that has not been finalized yet, but is kind of a fun run walk that'll start most likely here at Town Hall, probably like a mile and a half, somewhere in that, something that everybody can do, pay $10, you get a t-shirt, and then, do the walk or the run. And then down in Abbey Griffin Park, we would do a, health fair type of thing, bring in Dartmouth and some of the others, some of the doctors and nurses and those kinds of things for people to, learn more and get information and free giveaways and that kind of stuff. And then that would then translate into the movie night. And so we already got to have this captive audience.
That sounds like a great idea.
So that's it's still very early in the planning stages. Phil just told me Saturday, I think it was. So we're still kind of very early in beginning this discussion. But again, the idea there'd be some nominal fee for like $10, so you get a shirt out of it for participating. One of the things we've talked about is people would have the ability to make donations, and as well as kind of proceeds beyond once we buy the shirts, is raising money for Camp Lions Pride, which is up near what town is it in? It's near Alton, near Winnipesaukee. I'm drawing a blank on the town, but they run Camp Carefree, which is a diabetes camp for kids. So scholarships and that kind of stuff. Like I said, it gives us kind of that built-in crowd of participants already coming for some other activity, and then we go from there. So what we're doing right now is we put out yesterday we're doing kind of what we did a few years ago, which is a kind of round-robin bracket challenge for movie selections. We took kind of 8 upcoming movies. We put it out for a week. Here's the first 8 choices. Pick your favorite out of each pair. So round 1 is open right now through Tuesday of next week. And then next Wednesday, we'll narrow down to 4. Then the following week, we'll narrow down to 2. And then whatever the winner is will be. And it kind of just gives us that all online kind of Facebook engagement of getting people to go in and sign up and pick a movie. And as of this morning, there was something like 200 entries. 200 people had already voted in our bracket challenge. So pretty good for a day's worth of Facebook media. So
Where is it? It's being advertised on Facebook?
it's on Facebook right now. And it's on the website, and we did it. It was in an email blast that we sent out yesterday too. So so it's in a couple of different places. But anybody at home, you can go to our website, merrimackparksandrec.org, and it's right on the front page there. So like I said, round one will be open through next Tuesday, the 22nd, I think it is.
Yes.
And then Wednesday morning, when I come in, we'll figure out who who it gets narrowed down to and put it out again for another week and go from there. And then lastly, I don't like to talk about myself, but it happens.
Any chance that you would wait?
Sure, I can
Good.
wait.
Thank you. I would like you to hold off on that one.
You know what I'm going to say, but
Yeah, but that's okay because we're gonna
good.
take care of
It'll
it.
save me from saying it.
Yes, I didn't think you were gonna make it. So no, we're gonna deal. Let's go to organization reports. If you're finished with your budget reports and stuff, okay. MYA, Rick.
Thank you. First of all, we're anxiously awaiting for the fields to open in town. Hopefully it will be this week or early next. The sports that are waiting to kick off are baseball, golf, lacrosse, soccer, and softball. And I brought along some numbers that I hope you'll find interesting. We have about 250 players signed up for baseball, about 40 for our new golf program, about 200 people playing lacrosse. Softball is at about 100, and soccer at 626. So soccer's by far continues to be our largest sport, which I find so interesting. Of course, you can parents out there can always get more information at the MerrimackYouthAssociation.com. And I have to thank Department of Public Works, Gatenge, and Elbit Systems, as usual, for all the work they do and their generosity. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. All right, Maureen, Senior Citizens Club, please.
Yeah, do you have to remind me all the time?
I'm sorry, the Young Ladies Club.
Well, believe it or not, Meals on Wheels is serving another meal to us, the seniors, at the center, John O'Leary Center. They've already given us 2 meals. Were excellent. I don't remember the last 2 restaurants, but they were excellent. And we had sign-ups for Lobster and a couple comedians in Maine. And we're hoping to get a full bus because the last trip we took, we had to stop at 3 different stops. And it was not fun, to stop and pick up a couple people. In fact, the laugh was a group of people forgot to get off the bus at their stop, and we had to turn around and go back.
That's
As
how
they're
much fun they were
yelling,
having.
we didn't get off the bus. Well, you should have got off the bus a long time ago. But other than that, everything's been going great. We're having only 1 meeting a month, and the other meetings are social. Do your own thing. They're playing games. The big game right now is left, right, center. It's a gamble game, but they're loving that. And we're going to start up, I guess, bingo eventually. We've got to find someone that wants to be there but not play. Call the numbers. So, but everything's going good. Oh, Matt, in your
'Cause you
spare
have
time,
nothing to
Matt,
do.
you could call.
Yes.
Okay, but that's it. Thank you.
That sounds great. All right, Lori for the school board.
Thank you. So first I want to apologize. Last meeting, I had a conflict with the school planning and building meeting at the same time. So that's why I wasn't here, and then our alternate couldn't come. As everyone knows, the school budget also failed. And Monday night at the school board meeting, we will be also discussing cuts to the budget. I will say that the school board did do their best to hold the line with administrator contracts. We only offered a 2.9, and our superintendent took a pay freeze for his final year to try to help support the budget. We also wrote to Abigail Johnson, the CEO of Fidelity, asking if she would help support us in building a new SAU building. We did, Carolyn Shaughnessy did invite me to a Zoom meeting, which was very exciting. However, to get money from Fidelity, we would have to have 80% of our fundraising done, so, and we don't. So, but it was at least an opportunity that we tried to capture. We just hired a new assistant principal at Merrimack High School. Rick Zampieri, after 30-some years, is retiring. We're very excited about the new assistant principal. The Planning and Building Committee discussed naming the track after a long-term track coach named John Snell. He coached track for 43 years at Merrimack High School. One of the things that I think is interesting for this committee to realize is that what I learned in all of that is when you start naming things after people, you have to really be careful, especially schools, for evacuation purposes, because Memorial Field is where people evacuate, so we couldn't have two different names. So the school board will be making that decision again on Monday night, but we would have to be really careful with signage if we decided to do that. Finally, our reorg meeting is going to be on Monday night also. So just in case I don't come back to this committee, I just want to say that I'm very grateful for my time on this committee. This committee has so much positive energy, and they do so much for the town of Merrimack and so much positive results, and not all committees are like that. So you guys really have a lot of really good stuff going on here, so thank you.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you for all the work that you've done on the committee and bringing us all the information and keeping us apprised of what's going on with the school board. You've been a great asset to this committee. Matt?
Just a question, has the school board set last day of school yet?
Have we set the last day of school? Yes, we have set the last day of school. Now you're going to put me on the spot.
No, Grace was going to come and yell for
it's
not
on the
pushing
website.
the button.
I'll tell you that.
Okay. We should be done with snow, so there shouldn't be any more snow
Right.
days.
That's what I think, like it was like, back and forth, but I think we're all set.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Lori. Student Representative Matthew?
All right, a couple of very big announcements tonight. First of all, I want to congratulate our robotics team, the Chop Shop. They are in Houston attending the world competition. I think it's their second time. They went last year as well. It's a great team. They do a lot of great work for the community, including their annual event, Mayhem in Merrimack, which will be on May 17th. You can visit their Instagram for more details on how to register for that. Today, students, freshmen through junior, participated in the PSATs and the SATs. I got the notification that results should be coming out in the next couple of weeks for those. So a big thank you to our proctors, especially the teachers who helped administer the exam. The SATs, it's a really important step for college applications. As the year winds down, the Student Council has begun to hold elections. The class of 2027 and 2028 will be holding their elections soon. And then lastly, for our juniors, prom is on May 9th. It's really important that students understand all the requirements to enter prom, mostly that you have to be in school the day of to be able to go to prom later that night.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Matt. And we all wish Chop Shop a wonderful time in Houston. They've done a great job with improving the robotics with the actual robot. So good luck to Chop Shop. We have no public, so we have no comments from the public. So I'd like to, with the committee's permission, I'd like to ask for your indulgence a little bit, because what Matt was not going to be able to get through, we're going to do. So there is the Parks and Recreations Committee, or the Parks and Recreations Department in New Hampshire, has several awards. And there are different reasons for these awards being handed out, but one of the most prestigious awards is the Wink Tapley Award. I'm going to read you from the website that I pulled up today. It says the purpose of this award is to recognize a New Hampshire Parks and Recreation professional who has proven to have a similar passion for and dedication to the parks and recreation profession, someone who has exhibited the high character values and commitment to recreation and community as Wink, and has demonstrated all over a period of time. The Wink Tapley Award is the highest professional honor one can receive from the New Hampshire Recreation and Parks Association. Matt won that award this year.
Congratulations. So happy for you.
So last year, the award went to someone who is actually retiring or something. I had the honor of being able to write a letter of recommendation to the board. And I'm going to read part of that for the committee, but also for the people who are watching here who don't know everything that goes on with Parks and Recs and don't know just how much this man has changed Merrimack Parks and Recs and the camp and Wasserman and every other property that he manages. So once again, please indulge me. Matt carries with him a level of professionalism highly regarded by all members of the town council, all town leadership, the community, and Merrimack Parks and Recreations Committee on which he locally serves. Matt has been the director of Merrimack Parks and Recreation for many years, and throughout that time has built strong relationships with sponsors, local businesses, charitable organizations, as well as members of the community. He utilizes those relationships to attract participation in the plethora of community events and projects that he has initiated and organized. His vibrant personality and limitless enthusiasm for this career is unsurpassed by all others. Over the years since Matt has joined us, he has developed the community events and activities into must-see and must-do programs and consistently promotes growth and safety in all that he touches. He has developed the Natticook Day Camp into a program that serves the children in this community as well as other local communities for the summer as well as vacation weeks during the school year. The camp was originally established to strengthen and build the community, and that concept remains integral to the day-to-day operations and planning. Once Matt came on board, he built Natticook Day Camp into a program that continues to expand and sell out each year. He has advocated for keeping costs low, allowing more families to join in the festivities of camp life. As director, Matt plans, organizes, and budgets for various programs and community events while advocating with town leadership, strongly having to advocate with town leadership sometimes, for support to provide these programs and events. Because of Matt's high respect from all corners of the community, he has no difficulty gathering volunteers to assist in preparing and helping with these programs and events. In between these events, Matt, along with James, and now Rebecca, coordinates obstacle challenges and races to reach out to families, runners, walkers, athletes, and non-athletes to relish the great outdoors while having a little competitive fun. During the summers, he has organized weekly music events and with groups and individuals from throughout New England of all genres of music. He organized movie nights in the park with great movies for kids from all ages from 1 to 101. Yes, the young and young at heart. Matt has also worked with the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to do projects for many park locations throughout the town, encouraging community involvement and a desire for reaching out and making the community better. His involvement is sought by Eagle Scouts for completion of their final major projects, and the entire town receives the benefits. Eagle Scouts have completed projects for lights, kiosks, sheds, and game locations like Gaga Ball pits, and soon to be a library in 3 different locations. Matt works tirelessly to support and advocate for the children as well as adults of all ages. In doing so, he works with Merrimack Youth Association and local businesses who donate field use to ensure sufficient places for children to participate in sports. Along with Merrimack Youth Association, he works with Department of Public Works to help maintain those fields in conjunction with the businesses themselves. Matt is known and loved for his energy and enthusiasm that he brings to everything he does. And let me tell you something, the town council, when I have to come in here once a year, they always, okay, Tracy, it's contagious what Matt's doing because he's making you smile all the time. He's making you, it's not an understatement. His personality and passion attract more and more people each year. He has a way of making every positive aspect of himself contagious to all of those around him. One of the best compliments that I had received from the town council chair when providing an annual report to the council before the town was, "Matt is rubbing off on me." I couldn't stop smiling and still am while writing this, and I actually was. Young and young at heart, outdoor enthusiasts and homemakers, runners, walkers, seniors, students, there is no nobler, no stronger, no more ardent advocate for the community than Matt. Wink Tapley launched the idea of community recreation, and we are blessed to have Matt bring the standard bearer of Wink Tapley's legacy into the future. He shares this vision while advocating for the betterment and expansion of the Parks and Recreation's programs. He is creative in his approach to fundraising, planning, and facilitating joy and happiness, friendship and camaraderie, talent, and a passion for the arts. He is the absolute epitome of inspiration, passion, and mentorship. Matt Kasparius is the embodiment. My turn. He is the embodiment of all that Wink Tapley created, built, and shared. No one deserves the recognition of this award more than Matt. I have learned the true joy and passion for doing a job that makes the entire community feel like one big family. Matt is what Wink Tapley wanted Parks and Recreations to be and beyond. Thank you. You did that.
I did all that. I'm exhausted.
Lots of coffee.
All right. So with that, Matt, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I will say that I was completely shocked until they started reading the description. Like during the award ceremony, they always kind of give hints about this person's background before they tell you who it is. And as they get into like 2 and 3 things, it's like, oh, he was a state president of New Hampshire. Oh, and by the way, he was a state president of Massachusetts and did this. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, okay. And then, it was funny because this was last week, and James had said to me, like, Becca and I went to this, we were at the award ceremony is built into what we call the Summer Camp Summit, and it's a workshop for camp directors to gear up for summer, essentially. And so I was bringing Becca this year because she's new, and and James said something to me like Tuesday last week. Oh, do you think I can go? I was like, well, no, we need you to stay here because we got to still drive the bus, the kids over to meet the bus for after school, and then obviously he walked into the room after they finished reading that whole thing, and so yes, I was shocked and humbled. Excuse me. Wink was. I never knew Wink. He passed away before my time, but he was kind of father of recreation. He was the first basically director in Bristol. So just very, very humbling experience.
And well deserved. Thank you for
Congratulations.
everything that you do.
Thank you.
Do we have any comments from the committee?
That was wonderful.
No?
Exhausted.
What? No, it's not me. This is all Matt. This is all Matt.
I was gonna say, oh, I got another job starting next week.
All right, so our next meeting is Wednesday, May 21st. And then after that will be Wednesday, June 18th. And with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Phil? Okay, all in favor? 9.
Still
All right. The meeting is adjourned at 8:54 and a half.